We perch on a vibrating steel girder, wrapped in a toxic amber fog. The city screams at frequencies our ancestors never knew. Glass towers hum, transformers pulse, metal groans beneath our talons. Yet beneath this mechanical thunder, we still hear it. The scratch of claws on crystallized refuse, the heartbeat rhythm of prey moving through urban snow. Our sulfur-yellow iris contracts against the sodium glare. To understand how we arrived here, we are born to silence. The permafrost rim stretches beyond comprehension. A horizontal infinity of crystalline crust, wind carved into patterns older than human memory. 10,000 years of ice lie beneath us in a state of molecular arrest. Our bodies are engineered for this emptiness. Serrated fimbriae along our 10th primary feather reduce our flight signature by 12 decibels, allowing us to move below the threshold of silence itself. We are the Arctic Sentinel. We hunt what others cannot hear approaching. For generations, the rhythm held steady. Lemmings pulsed through their 4-year boom beneath the Nivean crust. Their heartbeats a Morse code we decoded through packed snow. But something has shifted in the planetary metabolism. The peaks flatten, the valleys deepen. Where 10,000 small hearts once drummed per square kilometer, now we hear only scattered percussion. The great scarcity has arrived, not as catastrophe, but as quiet subtraction. Our bodies register the deficit first, lipid stores burning faster than replenishment. We gather on the southern rim where ice meets lichen-mottled stone. Not in flocks, we are not social creatures, but in parallel trajectories, drawn by the same gravitational imperative. Dozens of us, spaced across kilometers, all facing the same direction. Our facial discs tighten, parabolic collectors scanning for vibrations that no longer come. The decision is not conscious. It is encoded in marrow and mirrored in sulfur-yellow eyes turning southward. The ancient map unfolds within us. The journey begins. We leave at dusk, the liminal hour when our vision sharpens and the world becomes gradients of gray. 3,000 kilometers stretch ahead, a distance our species has traveled in lean years for millennia. We are the Irruption, the silent overflow when the Arctic can no longer sustain us. Departure mass, 2.5 kilograms of muscle, fat, and hollow bone wrapped in immaculate white insulation. Our thermal boot, thick feathered tarsi, releases from the hardened crust. We rise into air so transparent it feels like flying through crystal. Behind us, the horizontal infinity fades. Every 500 kilometers costs us 12% more energy than the last. Physics is unforgiving. Our wing loading of only 6.6 kilograms per square meter allows buoyant flight at speeds as low as 3 meters per second. But this efficiency becomes a luxury we cannot afford. Each wing beat consumes 0.05 grams of fat, a microscopic taxation that compounds across thousands of cycles. We hunt during migration, dropping onto wind-stunned ptarmigan, snatching voles from exposed tussock. But the caloric mathematics remain brutal. By the time boreal forest appears below, our silhouettes have sharpened. Muscle cannibalizes itself. The journey carves us hollow. We expect tundra. The ancestral maps stored in our neurons promise open country, locked estuaries, agricultural fields dormant under snow, places where small bodies still move beneath white surfaces. Instead, the world has transformed. Vertical structures erupt from the earth like geological formations of glass and silicon. Light refracts at impossible angles. The horizon, our primary navigation reference, has been shattered into fragments. This is the Steel Nebula, a labyrinth of non-porous surfaces, galvanized towers, abrasive concrete. We circle, disoriented. Yet beneath the architecture, we detect it, the mechanical pulse of survival. Our bodies remain calibrated to the permafrost rim. Pure white insulation, 30,000 individual feathers creating air pockets against molecular arrest, keeps our core temperature stable even as ambient conditions plunge. The thermal boot presses against congealed metal with the same pressure it once applied to ice. We are designed for temperatures that would crystallize mammalian blood, for winds that scour landscapes clean. Here, in the threshold between wilderness and human hive, we maintain the ancient vigil. Perched on grain silos at the urban periphery, we scan for the sub-nivean vibrations we have always known. The hardening of the marrow has not yet begun. Safety lies in darkness, in the agricultural margins where sodium vapor does not penetrate, where snow still muffles sound and hides prey. But our metabolic reserves dwindle with each passing night. The mathematics of survival demands a new equation. We watch rats navigate loading docks. We hear pigeons roosting in steel frameworks. The city is not barren. It teems with caloric potential. It simply requires translation, learning to hunt by the scratch rhythm of claws on pavement instead of hardened crust, to process the low CRI light of street lamps instead of aurora-touched snow. We trade the safety of the known world for sustenance. We enter the mechanical pulse. Atop the grain silo, we become stillness incarnate. Hours dissolve. Our pupils dilate to maximum aperture, drinking every photon from the winter dusk. Below, the human world moves at incomprehensible velocity, vehicles streaming light, bodies generating heat signatures, voices creating acoustic clutter we have never processed. Yet we remain tuned to the primitive frequency. A rat pauses beneath a dumpster. Its heart rate, 300 beats per minute, creates a vibration pattern we recognize across species and centuries. We have always been hunters of the hidden pulse. The arena has changed. Our fundamental nature has not. We wait. The city does not kill with weather. It kills with transparency. Glass towers mimic sky, reflecting clouds and stars with perfect fidelity. We strike at phantom horizons, our bodies impacting surfaces at 40 kilometers per hour. The collision is catastrophic. Hollow bones absorb force they were never designed to encounter. Those who survive carry fractured wing coverts, damaged facial discs. Those who don't become forensic puzzles on concrete plazas. Our talons, capable of exerting over 300 pounds per square inch, find no purchase on polished surfaces. We are ambush predators adapted for snow-muffled tundra, now navigating a structural labyrinth of reflective deception. The Steel Nebula reveals its hostility through geometry, not temperature. By midwinter, we are ghosts of our departure selves. Arrival mass, 1.8 kilograms. The ribcage becomes visible beneath down that once concealed all skeletal architecture. Our primary feathers show tattered edges from impacts with chain-link fencing, antenna arrays, architectural protrusions the tundra never prepared us for. The facial disc contracts, trying to compensate for acoustic chaos, sirens, construction equipment, the relentless drone of traffic. We hunt now in kinetic desperation rather than calculated patience. Some of us fall from exhaustion mid-flight, bodies discovered on rooftops by humans who never knew we were there. We are the Irruption. We are the dying wave. Then, recognition, not of prey or predator, but of self. We see another sentinel in the glass tower's surface, sulfur yellow iris meeting sulfur yellow iris, white plumage against white plumage. For a moment, suspended outside time, we understand we are not alone. That our reflection is proof of persistence, that we still carry the ancient frequency despite the high-velocity world screaming around us. The city has tried to erase us through architectural violence, through starvation logistics, through sensory overload. But we remain, tattered, hollow-boned, soot-dusted, yet fundamentally unchanged. We are still the Arctic Sentinel. We still hunt what others cannot hear. The mirror shows us what survival looks like when stripped to marrow and instinct. Soot accumulates in our plumage like geologic strata. What was immaculate white becomes mottled gray, unintentional camouflage against concrete and steel. We learn the city's rhythms. When loading docks empty, when dumpsters open, when human activity ebbs enough for us to claim vertical perches without interference. We become the gargoyles of the Steel Nebula. Motionless watchers on roof edges and bridge supports. The city accepts us not through welcome, but through our gradual invisibility. Inside industrial corridors, our parabolic sound collectors, those remarkable facial discs designed to focus sub-nivean scratching, now amplify the scratch rhythm of rats against metal. We hunt by acoustic signature, translating urban percussion into the language of prey. A discarded shipping container becomes our hunting ground. Corrugated steel walls channel sound differently than snow, but the principle remains unchanged. Locate the heartbeat, calculate the trajectory, strike with talons that crush vertebrae instantly. We are learning to be a wayfarer in the truest sense. Young sentinels arrive with each successive winter. They watch us, the soot-dusted survivors, and decode our adaptations. Where to perch to avoid glass strikes. Which dumpsters yield consistent prey? How to time hunts around human schedules. The toxic amber sunset becomes their horizon. They know no other world. For them, the Steel Nebula is not exile but territory. They will carry forward what we discovered through trial and breaking bone. The Irruption becomes establishment. The nomadic ghost finds permanence in the mechanical pulse. Some of us fade into the soot-stained snow, bodies never recovered. We leave no monuments, only the knowledge encoded in those who watched us adapt. The nomadic ghost does not die. It transforms, generation after generation, into something both ancient and unprecedented. When spring breaks the molecular arrest, some of us turn northward. The 3,000-kilometer path remains stored in marrow and magnetic sense. We carry the Steel Nebula's lessons back to the permafrost rim, proof that the Arctic Sentinel can survive the human hive. The Irruption flows both directions now. Our retinas hold 1 million rod cells per square millimeter. Extreme sensitivity calibrated across evolutionary time. Now adapted to the 589 nanometer wavelength of sodium vapor, our eyes translate the city's toxic amber into a navigable spectrum. We remain the hunters of silence, the readers of the hidden pulse. The cycle continues. The Sentinel endures.